made us whole. Not one hug, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. With me today on the phone, we have Representative Danny McCormick. He is the Louisiana State Representative in the 1st District. He's going to be talking about his bills that he got coming up in our upcoming state legislation. Representative McCormick, how you doing? And welcome to the Cajun Conservative Show.
Hey, Isaac, it's great to be on your show. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, no problem. And when I first heard, I think you were on Moon Graffon's show, The Voice of Louisiana, and I heard your interview where you was talking about some legislation bills that was coming up, and I wanted to reach out to you, and we got to give credit to Mr. Alan Seaball. Representative Alan connected us together, and I really wanted you on to talk about the Second Amendment and what are you doing for the in our legislation to protect our God-given right in the Second Amendment in our Constitution.
You bet. I agree. That sounds great.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, Representative McCarthy, you have two bills coming up in there. You have one is to protect the Second Amendment Act, which is House Bill 130. And then you have the HB 131, which is the constitutional carry bill that you have been, I believe this is the third time you have put this in place, third or fourth time. Unfortunately, it didn't survive over veto, unfortunately. But you're bringing that back in. Tell us a little bit about your bills and why you're bringing these two bills back into our legislation.
Well, the House District 1 is a very rural district. I'm a rural guy. Second Amendment's very important to us, and we're really disturbed by we'll talk about House Bill 130 first, to protect the Second Amendment Act. I think probably most of your listeners are familiar with the ATF pistol brace ban, and that basically what this bill does, it makes it a crime for anybody to state or federal officials to enforce that pistol brace ban in Louisiana. You know what? I think we were talking earlier, Isaac. You know, we hear our congressmen a lot interviewing or they bring witnesses before themselves in Congress, and they talk real tough to them, but nothing really happens. And this bill has teeth in it. It will actually make it a criminal act for them to try to enforce that unconstitutional law in Louisiana. And until we start putting these federal officials in jail, we're not going to get their intention to that happen.
And that bill, you saying that it wasn't passed through Congress. I remember I reported on that when the ATF put these new regulations in, and it was blessed by the President of the United States. Now, the President of the United States can have his opinion, Representative, but he cannot make laws on his own. And you think he kind of try to go around the Constitution to do this? Like a couple of weeks ago, I reported he did the same thing where he signed an executive order and he said, well, this is the furthest I could do without breaking the law. Well, you can't make laws like that. You have to go through Congress, which is the House and the Senate.
And that's correct. That's what's wrong with this pistol ban. If it had went through Congress and been voted on, that would have been a constitutional law. But just federal bureaucrats making felons out of millions of Americans by the motion of their pen, that's uncalled for. And as a states' rights advocate, it is our responsibility as legislators to protect the citizens from this federal overreach. And that's what this bill is designed to do. And it has teeth in it. It makes it a criminal offense.
So with that being said, we do have a Democratic governor here in the great state of Louisiana, unfortunately. Do you see Governor Bell Edwards you have a supermajority in the House and in the Senate, but that the governor is still a flip. Do you think he's going to sign this bill to restrict the Biden administration from doing this here in the state of Louisiana?
Actually, I don't expect him to sign it. I would be proud if it made it to his desk, though. You know, even though the Senate and the House have a supermajority now, both. You may not believe this, Isaac, but they don't actually vote like that sometimes. So this is going to be a good challenge for them to see where they stand on the Second Amendment as far as the Republicans we have elected.
Yeah, because and look, I've said this a couple of times, Representative Danny. I said this: Louisiana nationally, the Trump election and the elections from as long as I can remember, we have voted red nationally for president, and we're considered a red state. But unfortunately, our legislators, majority of them, they only Republican in name only. I call those rhinos because they don't vote like Republicans. And we've seen that in the last sessions where some of our own party teamed up with the Democrat Party to get their way, and we're supposed to have a supermajority where bills like this could pass and also go over a veto with the governor. But they teamed up with the Democrat side. Now they owe them, and now we're not getting nothing done. We've been in a lame duck legislation for almost 4 years now.
Yeah, and that's right, Isaac. And I'll probably kind of surprise you with this too. There are Democrats in Baton Rouge that have a better voting record on the Second Amendment than several Republicans. This is probably surprising to most people, but yes, we have Democrats in the House that are more pro Second Amendment than we do some of the Republicans.
And that is sad. That is sad, Representative McCormick. It is sad that we have Democrats here in the state of Louisiana that are more hardcore for the Second Amendment than we have some Republicans.
That's correct. It is, and but you have to get good candidates to run for office, and you have to weed them out. I think as we have an election year coming up, and now's the time to vet your candidates, not by what they say, but how they vote. They all of those elected politicians know what to say, but their voting records are what they need to stand on.
And unfortunately, they don't like that. Moon. At the time of this recording is Tuesday. I heard Moon talk about this morning that one representative told him, "Hey, my family don't like you because you came against me." And Moon said, "I just talked about your voting record. I didn't talk about you personally. I just talked about the voting record." And people were upset at him because, yeah, he talked one. I can't remember who the representative was, but he talked one way, but he voted another way, and that is not good here in the state of Louisiana.
And that's exactly right. You would be surprised how I've had several representatives get mad at me because I made them vote on a controversial issue. You would think that's odd. We get elected to vote, and a lot of times they get mad because they have to vote. And that was actually something that was surprising to me. I tell them all the time. I say, "Shoot, man, if you don't support the Second Amendment, just vote the way you believe and let your people know about it." But they don't like voting sometimes.
It goes against their personality or their belief system, and that's not right. Representative,
I agree.
Representative McCormick, let's talk about cause the HB 130. Unfortunately, if it makes it to the governor's desk, he's probably going to veto it. Do you see this going into a veto session here for the state of Louisiana and it being override in that, or you don't think we'll have enough votes for that bill to pass?
Well, there again, that's easily documented too, Isaac. In Louisiana, we automatically go into a veto override session unless somebody sends in their ballot saying they don't want to go. So people had to publicly say they don't want to go. So with a supermajority in the House and the Senate, it's going to be hard to believe if they vote not to go into a veto override session.
And they should, but like I said, unfortunately, Representative McCormick is that we have certain people in our state that are Republicans that don't want to get their hands dirty. They like being clean, or they like being on that borderline. And like you said, and especially in a elections season, they should be very careful if they say no or yes. But I think we're going to have some that's going to say, a lot of them going to say no. And we know that here in the state of Louisiana, you have to have a majority yes before you even go into a veto session. Like you said, it automatically happens, but it stops it if you have more no's than yes.
Yeah, that's correct. But there again, that's something that the citizens can actually easily track and identify and know how their representatives and senators are voting. And That's very important. I mean, that's something that's a whole show for you in itself, and exposing the people and how they vote on HB 130 and 131. That'll be an interesting piece of information, and that's what's great about this show. You could do that research, you can give it to the public, and the public they don't have to do the work. They just listen to your show to get educated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And look, I'm going to be keeping a track of this because, like I said, when I first heard that you was introducing the HB 131 back, that's why I wanted to get you on. I wanted to get this information out to the listeners because we heard all over the country, but especially in the state of Louisiana. Half our audience is in the state of Louisiana. And we need to know what our representatives are doing, especially right before this election cycle that's coming up. We need to know what's happening in Baton Rouge.
And that's what's so great about podcasts like yours. You can do that. I mean, somebody can listen to it going down the road. They don't have to actually do the research. So, information is starting to, these podcasts like these are popping up, and the information has come more widely available to the citizens. And I'm excited about doing these type interviews like I'm doing with you right now.
And we're happy to have you on. We're happy to give out that information. And that's why we tell people, hey, subscribe to the Cajun Conservative and listen to us, and we can give you that information as it comes out.
Exactly. That's right. That's exactly right.
So Representative McCormick, let's go ahead and talk about HB 131. Is this the third time or the fourth time you bring this up, or how many times? I know you had some type of bill like this previously in past legislation sessions.
That's correct. This is the fourth time I've filed this bill, and when I was knocking on the doors in my district, Isaac, the number one asked question I had was, will you bring a constitutional carry bill? And my promise to my constituents was I would bring it every year until it passed. And this is my fourth year to be in office. This is my fourth year to bring this bill. And it's crazy that this bill hadn't already passed, Isaac, because I think I forget exactly, 25 or 26 other states already have constitutional carry, for one thing. And then the other thing is that in Louisiana, you can legally open carry. So let's just say that I have a pistol on my side, and I'm walking around, and it gets really cold. So I put a coat on, and that coat covers up that pistol. Well, now I'm a felon. So explain that one to me. My granddaughters, when they turn 18, they can strap a 12-gauge shotgun on their back and legally walk into Walmart here in my hometown. But they can't put a snub-nosed 38 in their purse to protect themselves from rapists and murderers. And as you very well know, here in Louisiana, with our crime problem, our everybody, and especially our young women, need to be able to have that ability to protect themselves from these predators. Yeah,
and that's what, with that being on side, we're also the sportsman's paradise. You get what I'm saying?
You bet.
And look, firearms are in our blood. It's in our DNA. It's something that Louisiana. Look, I've been hunting since I'm 16 years old. You get what I'm saying? And I hear people talk about guns all the time, but like you said, just to put a coat over your pistol, that becomes a felony, and that's, like you said, you can open carry, but you cannot conceal carry, and that's kind of sad that we don't have that. And I hope it passes this year.
You bet. And it's also important too that your listeners realize mine is a true constitutional carry bill. It mimics open carry to the letter of the law. And what that means is this: if you can legally open carry, you can legally conceal carry. I have several every year I bring this bill, and the constitutional carry bill I file is at 18. And actually, in committee last year, we had a Democrat file an amendment to change the age to 21, and the Republicans are one that voted to change the age to 21. We need to decide when our age of accountability is. If you can go to overseas and die in a war at 18, it seems like you ought to be able to legally conceal carry in Louisiana, but you can't. I'll tell you this story, Isaac. My 6-year-old granddaughter killed her first deer this year. when she becomes 18, she's going to be quite accomplished with a firearm. But in Louisiana, she will not be able to put a pistol in her purse to protect herself from murderers and rapists. I think that's a travesty, especially since it's protected in the Constitution. And also, we'll go to that. Truly, the Second Amendment is there to protect us from tyranny, yep. from out of control government, from the Maos and the Stalins of the world. That's the reason our founders put it in there.
Yeah, you mentioning that, Representative, is kind of funny because I did a show in maybe about almost 2 years now, and I said that's one of the arguments that I hate the most when I hear a leftist say, well, why do you need a big clip in a gun to shoot a deer? And I'm like, you don't understand the Second Amendment of the Constitution at all. Because that was not that amendment was not meant for hunting. You didn't, and I used the example, you didn't see our founding fathers just finish a war with England and say, oh, we need to put this amendment in the Constitution so we can go hunting. They just went through a whole war to earn their freedoms. That's why they put it in there.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. And what's so odd about the Biden administration is that they're using tax dollars to send fully automatic weapons to Ukraine,
yep.
to the Ukraine citizens, okay? They're using our tax dollars to do that, while in the same time, they're using our tax dollars to take away our Second Amendment rights. So we're sending fully automatic weapons to Ukraine, to those citizens. They're not worried about if they're trained or anything else, or if they have a background check. They're not worried. They're sending it all over there. While at the same time, they're taking our weapons away from us.
And it's sad. It's sad. And look, you bringing that up. I found the article researching a few minutes ago where on Fox News it says the Justice Department asked the Supreme Court to overturn domestic violent gun ruling because the Fifth Circuit Appeal said, look, the domestic violence restraining orders from gun owners are unconstitutional. Now, you can have a debate on that, but at the same time, the Constitution does not label who can have a firearm and who can't have a firearm. Now, we know that our state and other states have laws that said, look, if you are a felon, you can't have one. And I agree with those laws. But as for restraining law-abiding citizens their rights, that's not right either. And that's why I commend you, Representative McCormick, that you're putting this bill up. And I hope this year it gets through. I doubt that the governor will sign it. He probably would veto it. But let's hope that our other representatives would go ahead and back you up in a veto session and say, no, we're going to put that bill into law, and we won't care what the governor says.
And that's right, Isaac. And we, as your listeners, need to know, this needs to be a talking point. This needs to be with the next governor. He needs to be asked that question, the candidate. Will you support constitutional carry? That it's important to get him on the record. I mean, I'm sure there'll be several gubernatorial candidates to be coming around speaking in the communities where your listeners are. Raise your hand up and ask them, sir, will you support constitutional carry? Would that be one of the issues you'll support if you're elected governor? Now's the time to put them on the record.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you brought that up to me because I'm planning on having a few of them on here, and we're gonna go ahead and ask that question when they show up to the studio and get ready to ask. That'll be one of the questions we're gonna try to bring out because I believe that the Second Amendment is under attack. Go ahead.
And ask them, will you support true constitutional carry? And that means 18 years of age. It's really important to me, and some of your listeners may know, to get a concealed carry permit, you have to be 21. So 18, 19, and 20-year-old girls, when they leave the house, they're most vulnerable they'll ever be in their life. No matter how proficient they are with a weapon, Louisiana makes it against the law. Now, they cannot put one in their purse. Now, can you imagine my granddaughter, when she gets 18, she puts on a nice dress and she's going out, but she can strap a pistol on her side. That's okay, but she can't put a pistol in her purse. That's just that's a thinking process that I don't understand, Isaac.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Representative. I agree with you, and like I said, let's just hope that we have other representatives that are like-minded like you this session. And look, I know you got some good conservatives out there like Blake, and you got Mr. Allen. You got a lot of good representatives that are in this session, and let's hope they pass this bill. And then we got a supermajority now in the House with one Democrat flipping over. So we got hope. We got hope that it's going to come through.
I agree. That's right. And we got to keep fighting. We got to keep pushing. And everybody's listening to your podcast needs to ask their state rep and their state senator would they support constitutional carry, and would they support true constitutional carry? That means at 18.
Yes, sir. And look, our audience, if you're listening, please call. If you're from Louisiana, call your state rep and let's get this through. Representative McCormick, we're about to run short on some time, but I want to go ahead and get you to talk about your campaign, because you're just not getting ready for legislative session. You're getting ready for an election. You are running again in District 1. I don't know if you have any opponents in that race. How's the campaign going? And what, talk to your voters. Go ahead and tell them why you continue on serving in the House of Representatives of Louisiana.
You bet. That sounds great, Isaac. I love the people of my district. They're just down to earth, solid people. When I ran for office, this is what I said to them. These are my principles, and these are what I stand for. And you can feel assured this is how I vote, and that's how I voted. And also, Isaac, I stay in contact with my. I don't just show up and want to talk to my constituents on election year. I talk to them every year, all through the session. I put out videos. They can follow me on Facebook. I have an email updates they can get. You can go play.com. You can sign up to get my emails. We send out at least one email a week. We've been giving away firearms this year. We were just recently gave away our second firearm and a firearm giveaways. We're going to be doing. If you'll sign up for that, you'll be getting emails making you aware of what's going on during session on my constitutional carry bill and any other bills that I may be carrying this year. And that's why I'm running again. I have. Like I said, I have 4 granddaughters, and when they turn 18, I want them to be able to take a firearm and put it in their purse and protect themselves from predators. And for 4 years, I've been pushing that, and I'm going to continue to push until we push it across the finish line.
And you, like I said, you have a good chance to do that this year, and we hope that happens. Say that website one more time, Representative McCormick.
It's McCormick, the number 4, LA.com. McCormick, number 4, LA.com.
All right, sounds good. Everybody, go check that website out. That's going to be good. Representative McCormick, if you ever need to get to your constituents or want to let somebody know something, give me a call. We're going to have you back on. It was real nice having you on today, and I hope this is a long and prosperous friendship between both of us. This mic's always open if you want to come on and hang out with your friendly neighborhood Cajun Conservative.
That sounds great, Isaac. I appreciate you, man, and give me a call anytime I can help you.
No problem. No, I'm gonna take that up on it. I'm gonna take your word up on that, my brother.
That sounds great. Have a good day, man.
You too. That was Representative Danny McCormick. I can't say that word. McCormick. He is the Louisiana state rep for District 1 of Louisiana. He's gonna be he's pushing them constitutional bills in. And these Protect the Second Amendment Act. Let's hope this goes through. With that being said, we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.